morning,
Good
everybody.
morning.
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Ay, ay, ay. let's have some fun and music.
Oh,
Well, I hope you all
yes.
have a piñata and it's full of good things for you.
Um, Good things like vegetables and
No,
stuff.
I think it's more like
Just
sweet treats.
like candy. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
That
good with
makes you want to open it. Otherwise, if it was spinach, I don't think we'd want to open it. Leave it in there.
yes. Oh my goodness, so many fun memories with piñatas for kids' birthdays, and yes, they love whacking that whacking that piñata regardless of what it is. Um,
Yes.
for Jim's 80th birthday, his daughter made a piñata, but she did not. We did not whack it because she wanted us to be able to keep it. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning.
So anyway, she made it was a goat because the sisters call him the goat, the greatest of all time brother, and yes. Um, but she put a little trap door in it with strings, so the kids got to swing at it a couple of times, but she hit it up pretty high so they couldn't really get to it. And then the little ones got to pull the strings, and of course all the candy and all the treats came tumbling out. And so anyway, fun stuff.
Yeah, we used to. My mom, it was one of those projects she gave us to do, I think, to keep, us busy. We made ours. I made some, and they were round because it was the shape of a balloon.
Well,
And
of
so,
course.
and so yeah, it was a lot of fun, but it was, we were outside, we made a big mess, and we made our own glue with flour and water. And we put the strips of paper and at first it was just white newspaper, and then later on we put colored paper, crepe paper, and on it. But it was a lot of fun, and it kept us busy one summer.
Paper
it doesn't
mache.
have it doesn't have to be on the 5th of May, Cinco de Mayo. It doesn't have to be
No.
on it. It can be any day of the week, any time of the year. It brings joy and happiness and good memories.
That you can make all sizes and hang them up on your patio even.
You could if you were so inclined. Yes.
Oh,
If I were only artistic as far as that kind of thing goes.
really. Well, the other exciting thing that we celebrated yesterday at church was Native American Sunday. And it, I wish everybody would have been there. It was an amazing service. And of course, you can go to uh, our website and watch the recording because it's out there. And Joe Gray was our worship leader, and he is Cherokee. And he just did an incredible job. He started the Lord's Prayer with a few lines in Cherokee. He also shared some words in Creek, which is Muskogee, that they're trying to get it renamed from Creek to Muskogee. So it was very, very good. And the
He also
altar
he also
decorations were perfect.
and he also referenced Choctaw, I believe.
Yes, Choctaw.
Yes. And I
Yeah.
remember that because my grandfather, his family back in the day came across and settled in near Choctaw, Oklahoma. And so when he said that, it was kind of like I know about Choctaw, but not
Yes.
about the culture, but about the place. And I think sometimes we kind of confuse the two, place
And the
and
culture.
culture.
Yes. Yeah.
but I truly felt that Joe was being led yesterday, and it was such a special spiritual time because he brings joy. He brings, while he may or may not feel it, he brings confidence in who he is and what he has to share with us. And I think that is so important. And I wish everybody could have been there. But you can still be with us and join us online. The service is online.
Yes, that's and maybe we could put the website up on our banner so everybody could
Yeah.
actually see that. That would be wonderful.
Yes. And another great thing that happened this last week, I heard through the grapevine. I wasn't able to go, but the karaoke night was evidently a big success.
It was very good. It was excuse me, Saturday night, the first Saturday of the month from 5 to 7. And because it was in honor of Cinco de Mayo, Karen Keefe prepared some wonderful yummy tacos. And I mean, there were 13 of us there, I think. So we would love to have more come. You don't have to be a soloist. You don't even have to be able to carry a tune, actually. But it's just fun, good fellowship, and a nice evening.
A little joy in our lives. I think everybody can use some.
A little joy, absolutely.
And I have to tell you, this last week, I've been working in my yard. It was yard week at our house. And so it's been so fun. I have missed getting my fingers in the dirt and, getting the weeds pulled out and putting in new plants. And I think that's all part of the Native American culture. They're tied so closely to the earth. And I think that we all miss out sometimes by not making time for that.
I love to dig in the dirt, plant plants, pull weeds.
Yeah, my kids came over. It was a good time for fellowship. My daughter and her husband came over to help us out because there's just things that are beyond my capabilities at this point. But and then we get a chance to talk to each other and share. And my son-in-law, while I don't know that he is Native American, he was raised in a Native American family. His stepfather was Native American. So a lot of that culture, I think, kind of rubbed off on him. And it's like, we just had a great time.
A good thing.
Yes.
I know I have tiny little bit of Native American in me. And my dad made me promise that somehow, some way, I will find out what tribe
Okay.
that was. I'm working on it, but I think there's such a tiny little bit that even on 23andMe, it didn't give conclusive information. So I'll keep trying. I'll keep digging.
Well, and that kind of leads us into kind of like what we talked about yesterday, church. John 15, and in particular, verse 4. And I had, for Sunday school, we talked about this one too. So I had printed off several versions from different interpretations of the Bible. But I liked one in particular in the Message version of the Bible. Live in me, make your home in me, just as I do in you. In the same way that a branch can't bear grapes by itself, but only by being joined to the vine. You can't bear fruit unless you are joined with me. And that to me, it was make your home in me. I think we all like the idea of coming home. And it's such a warm and inclusive thought to me. I mean, it's comforting. There's solace for those who are grieving. There's joy for those who are happy, and a way to share. If you're connected to the vine, all of us are connected, have the opportunity to be connected to the vine. And we share that we are all joined together. We're connected. And what a wonderful feeling to come home.
I like that version a lot.
I think
There's comfort and support in home, and you want to welcome others to that environment. It's like you're not alone. You have others there with you.
Absolutely. And even when you're far apart, you're connected through the vine. It doesn't mean you have to be in the same room. It doesn't mean you have to be next door or across the street. Those are all there and it's all wonderful. But if you're connected to someone who lives in Tulsa or someone who lives in Albuquerque or someone who lives in Sacramento, it doesn't matter. We're all connected. And that connection is available to us 100% of the time.
We just have to step forward.
Abide.
Abide.
Yes.
Yes. So my version is a very traditional one. Remain in me as I also remain in you. No branch can bear fruit by itself. It must remain in the vine. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me. And, bearing fruit, it takes me to the fruits of the Spirit, because the fruits of the Spirit pretty well list out all kinds of fruit, that not like apples and oranges. And when we share our gifts or fruits, the collective we will exhibit all the fruit there is when we share them together. One person cannot possibly have all of the fruits of the Spirit. And that's a good thing, because we all must work together to make that beautiful vine. So the fruits of the Spirit, as everybody knows, the disciples were to bear it. Let me back up. I'm stuttering. The fruit that Jesus means for his disciples to bear is that of the Holy Spirit. Fruit, the love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control, and also that of effective ministry. Those are stated a little bit differently in that particular version, but when we think remain in me or home, come home, all of those things are there in a beautiful setting in our life here on earth, just as it is in God's home.
Mm-hmm.
They're all there for us to experience.
It's hard to appeal to everyone in one interpretation. And I think for some, home might not feel good, because maybe they didn't grow up in a good setting or didn't have a good home or foundation or whatever you want to call it. And so that may not appeal to them. But take care to live in me and let me live in you. Live in me, make your home in me. Abide in me, and I will abide in you. Or remain in me as I also remain in you. We can choose how we choose to think about it. And I think that's an important element. We need to choose the thing that grounds us. that we have can grow solid roots in, and that feeds us. You know, it's like in the garden, and I don't want to make a negative thing, but we fertilize. Sometimes that smells good, sometimes not so much. But
Right.
but the yield is what is important. My dad used to go out to the chicken farm, and we used to hate to go with him, but he would. Mom, I think we got under her feet and we were driving her crazy, so she would send us out with Dad when he went to the chicken farm, and we'd ride in the truck, and he would load the truck up with chicken manure. And it was like a 2 or 3 hour adventure. We'd go out way out in the middle of nowhere to this chicken farm. Then there was this smelly 2 or 3 hours while Dad loaded up the truck, and then we'd go back to the house, and then he had to unload it into the garden. And but the yield, it was the promise. It's like the hymn of promise.
Oh,
Uh, the promise that we get when we fertilize or when we enrich ourselves by coming to worship, going to a Bible study, coming to Sunday school, joining in community with the United Women of Faith, joining the exercise group. I think that's on Tuesdays.
Tuesday at 1
That,
o'clock.
that's when we feed ourselves by being in community with others. And I think that, and joining us here on Monday Morning Coffee Blessings, we hope to be a blessing to someone. So we come up here and
Hopefully.
we talk and we share, and we are in community with each other and with you. And please reach out if you have anything that you would like to share with us, because we're enriched by you. Being in community is not just a one-way street where we talk and that's all there is. It's we're waiting for you to bless us, because you do. And so each and every one of you has something important to add to the mix, and we look forward to that.
You could let us know what you're thinking if you put your comments actually in the chat, or if you're watching on YouTube, you could put your comments just in the comment section. That would help us also to know. Maybe there's a topic you want us to talk about. That would be very helpful. So yes, God blesses us for being a blessing to others. And sometimes it's almost like I feel guilty because I feel like I'm taking more than I'm giving. Just like yesterday with Joe, it was wow. That whole service, I felt like I was just taking, because it really it filled me.
Yes.
Gave me the strength, gave me the energy, gave me the blessings that I need to go through a week.
Right.
So
And then you add that to the sermon that was given
yes,
yesterday. And I was so, taken with the word abide. I love that word, abide. It's not a commonly used everyday word for most of us, but I think that it's an important word for us to think about, even if you would feel awkward using that word, talking with your friends or whatever. I think that abide is kind of a word that kind of wraps itself around you, and you
and
can,
it's not abide is an action word.
yes.
It is not sit and rest on your laurels.
Oh, I haven't heard that phrase in a long time. My mom used to say that.
But if we abide in him, in his house, in his space, we share all those fruits just because we are in his presence. He is in us. And then it's so much easier to share those qualities, those things share joy, share happiness, faithfulness to a
And
friend or to their story.
well, I think that's what we saw yesterday in worship with Joe's leadership as the worship leader. And I think that he offered comfort, he offered warmth, he offered a home, it was all that we are trying to say in the word abide, remain, make your home in me. All these things, if we live in that, we are home. We are with our community. We're part of the bigger vine. We're a small part, each of us, of the vine. It's kind of like stone soup and bringing what you have. I mean, if I'm a carrot, you're a potato, somebody else is a piece of celery. I mean, it just doesn't matter. We need each other in a way to make the richer and more vibrant, to become the church.
To become the church, we have to work together. We have to put all of those talents, those gifts, in the stone soup pot.
Yes.
And stir it good and keep stirring and keep adding, bringing new people in. One of the sentences that I heard yesterday, we are not just receivers of grace, but we're carriers of blessings. And I thought, wow, so it does make a difference what we take in, what we receive. How do we receive a particular message? And another thing from yesterday, what are those things that we're holding on to so tight that God wants us to let go of?
Well, and the other thing about that is you're hanging on to something that may or may not be good for you. And
I think it
maybe,
is.
but it's not your gift really, or maybe it is, but it's time to pass the torch to someone who has the ability, that's maybe waiting for an opportunity. And that's hard to do when you're in your comfort zone. Or at least it is for me. I don't know.
There is that, yes. But we do bless others by including them, helping them stretch and grow.
Yes. It's like the collaboration of Karen Strife and Joanne Cretion and Lydia Marlowe, where they made the new parament for Easter. And what a glorious thing. They all brought their different visions and gifts, and they collaborated, they shared. No one person was overwhelming to the others. It was a wonderful example of what can be achieved in that sharing network. If it's a network of believers working together to make beauty, to make love, to make comfort.
Well, and then working together like that, my goodness. I'm sure they didn't know each other very well, but after working together on a project, something that was as beautiful as what they've created, new friendships.
Yes.
New friendships are built, strengthened.
Well, a new vision. I mean, one person brings this, and then a couple of new or different people add another element and take it up another notch, like Emeril Lagasse always used to say, up another notch, bam. I mean, this is how we grow the church. we want to take it up another notch, and we by adding new voices, by adding new branches to the vine, new gifts, new fruit.
Yes. And on the other side, we can't forget that God does prune those branches that are withering or dying, and they're not fruitful. They're not productive anymore. So trim those, and in the very place that comes right back stronger maybe than before. So it's like God is saying, okay, you've done this long enough. You need to do something different, because your enthusiasm isn't there, your joy isn't there any longer in what you're doing.
It's not new anymore. It's
It's
not
not
new and
new anymore.
fresh. It's
Right.
like every spring, the new little things that come up out of the ground, it's not, they're all new and fresh. God starts new every spring.
Every spring. And oh my goodness, the colors that he gives us. Gorgeous. I love spring. And I say it's my favorite until fall comes with all the beautiful fall colors.
Yeah, I would have a hard time choosing between the two, but I like both. I love both of them. I can appreciate summer, but it gets a little overwhelming for me after a while. By August, I'm done.
Yeah.
And then winter, it's a hibernation time, and I feel like I'm kind of shut off. But I mean, everybody has a different way of living into those seasons. We all have we're living into different seasons in our life.
Yes. And then the seasons of our life, it's like it kind of recycles. It's not like you just go from spring to summer to winter, fall to winter one time, because God keeps renewing us depending on if we continue to remain in him. He's always in us. Sometimes he has a little more difficulty getting us to go the direction he wants us to go, a little rebellious, maybe, like those winter snowstorms or hurricanes. But our lives change just as the seasons change, and we can have more than one spring. We can have more than one summer in our life. We just have to redirect, and God prunes us to be his hands and his feet. And that just keeps us moving forward. And like for me, the more that I do and that I accomplish, or sharing with someone new, inviting them to church or welcoming new people, it's good for me. It's good for my soul. It's good for my spirit. And I hope that it is good for them as well.
Yes, and as far as welcoming, that's another whole subject. What is it to welcome people? But maybe another day. There's so much to talk about, and we would love to hear from you. So please leave a message for us.
I want to take us out today with the Missouri Prairie Foundation, where I'm sorry, I'm jumping all over. I'm going back to Native American Day celebration. The land acknowledgement statement in 2021 was a milestone year in Missouri's history. Missouri accomplished much in its first 200 years, and Missouri's bicentennial was a time to reflect on the state's natural heritage. Up until statehood, there were 15 million acres of prairie within what would become Missouri's borders, as well as vast open woodlands, wetlands, and other biologically rich natural communities. 15 million acres is where we started. Today, there are fewer than 51,000 acres, scattered, unplowed acres of original prairie left in the state. With the European American settlement of Missouri came the conversion of prairie to agriculture and other uses. The conversion also began when Native American nations were extirpated, from this region. The Osage and other nations who lived here shaped and perpetuated prairie through their burning practices, which stopped when they were forcibly removed from their territory. While our state's history was honored during the bicentennial year, the Missouri Prairie Foundation believed it was imperative to also acknowledge and honor the people who lived here and shaped this land prior to statehood. And because of this, they developed the following acknowledgement statement. The Missouri Prairie Foundation respectfully acknowledges that the land we work to protect was the homeland of a diversity of Native American nations prior to European American settlement. This land in our care continues to have cultural significance for the Osage, Missouria, and the, gosh, Suzanne, I wish you could say these for me. The Sac and Fox, the Kaw, and other Native American nations. We are mindful that these nations had a significant role in shaping the landscape and that they continue a sacred relationship with the lands we protect. We recognize and appreciate their contributions to the cultural heritage of this region and to the history of North America. We honor them as we protect the ecological integrity of the lands in our care. I wish we would have had that statement to read yesterday. I had not thought about doing that ahead of time. So anyway, Suzanne, you are most welcome. And what a delightful and wonderful display of Native American things that you had for us to enhance our service yesterday. So with that, happy Cinco de Mayo, happy Native American. The United Methodists celebrate Native American Sunday, the third Sunday of Easter. So here we are. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, everybody.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.